Hello friends, it's been a while since you've seen Facecam Team Prep. I know, it's been a long time. Welcome. Welcome Phantom Force and Cosmox fans alike to another team building session here with your host Phantom Base. Here we are prepping for our IBL Season 5 Week 8 opponent. Your coach thing, your Cosmox is 5-2. Plus, I don't even remember what my differential is right now. But we're up against JV Westside, coach of the Colorado Bouffalants. The team list should appear roughly right about now. You can see all the crazy stuff he has for us. So once again, we're going to go over some, like we normally do, we're going to go over team threats. Music be laggy. We'll fix that before the battle. Anyway. Start shutting some stuff off here. Oh well. Okay, so let's continue. Not quite sure why it's lagging so bad. Probably because I haven't reset my computer in a while. So I'll do that before we battle. Anyway. Enough of the technical issues. Let's discuss threats. First off, anybody who knows me knows that I kind of can spot heat where it needs to come. For example, I can very well see him bringing a vacuum wave like a scissor this game because it can two-shot my Cortana. Scarfini is a possibility. That's about all the heat I can expect. Actual sets that I really expect, big threats. Mega Scizor is a huge threat to my team. I don't have many good switch-ins for it. I have a couple, but they're few, and I need to keep them healthy. Incineroar can actually be a decent problem because its coverage allows it to kind of break my team down pretty easily, because it can become a threat to one of the mons that helps me check Mega Scizor. This being said, I know I have a good check, and I know I have a check to Incineroar, so I'm kind of looking forward to how this match goes. Shaman is not exactly an issue, because I have a really good check to it. Really good check to it. Almost a counter, if you will. But, if he brings a Shaman this week, I'm expecting it to be more defensive to kind of handle my, more of a support set to handle, to take on my Toxapex, to take on my Cortana, to... he's not going to bring a Scarf. There's no reason to bring a Scarf. That's a... Scarf Shaman is a bad bring versus me because depending on what he locks himself into, I can just switch accordingly because he has to have ground coverage or psychic coverage for Toxapex, both of which Hydreigon walls. Grass coverage to hit anything else on my team. Walls wall by Hydreigon and Vikavolt. If he brings Dazzling Gleam, it's beat by Toxapex, so he can't afford to lock himself into a move with Shaman. Lycanroc Dust can be an issue only because it outspeeds my Cortana by 1 point, and Accelerock is still going to blow away my Swoobat, which is the only thing it outspeeds it besides Arrow. Mesprit can be a bit of an issue. Luckily he can't Scarf it to be faster than my Aerodactyl, but still that doesn't mean that it won't be a threat. Nidoking, huge threat, because I don't know whether he's going to be physical or special, and I don't know whether he's going to... Like, it's a nuisance for sure. It is a threat that I have to assess. Raichu can be a nuisance, but it's not going to be a problem because I have checks and counters to it. They're pretty well established. Primeape isn't exactly an issue when I've got an Necrozmus and a Toxapex staring it in the face. That both resist its stab, as well as Vikavolt. And, yeah. Noivern's speed tier is annoying, but it's not a threat because of the fact that I have Piloswine sitting there. Now, looking at threats for him from me, Hydreigon is a big issue to him because his only switch in is literally Tapu Fini. Everything else can, and maybe Assault Vest and Incineroar, but even then that's iffy because I could be a Specs Hydreigon. In theory, could cause this team a lot of problems. Licky is a decent nuisance, but because of the fact that I do have proper offense, he may be inclined to not bring it. However, my lack of a solid fighting type may bring him may lure him to bring it, which is kind of okay with me because I can actually use that with a one of my sets. Kartana is a good win condition versus him, but I need to have Incineroar and Mega Scizor out of the way first. Also got Toxapex walls a lot of his team. The mons that it doesn't wall, Piloswine dies. The only mon that those two shared mons don't beat, Vikavolt does. You guys can already see where I'm going with this team. So, without much further ado, we're gonna hop in because I want you guys to see just my thought process here. So when I looked at his team, the first mon that came to my mind when I was building, and I built this entire set rather quickly, was Vikavolt. Actually, we haven't used Vikavolt since week 1 of this league, and I feel like people kind of forget that it's on my team. So we're gonna bring it back because it needs some respect again. We're bringing a magnet Vikavolt with Thunderbolt. Oh Lord, not Thunder. We're not brave enough for that, sadly. Thunderbolt, Bug Buzz. No, not Bug Bite. Bug Buzz, Empower Ice, and Roost. Okay, if this thing has Sacred Fire, it'd still be bad. With this exact spread, and I'm gonna explain to you why here in just a minute. Because, first things first, with this investment, we 2-hit KO a max HP Licky with Thunderbolt. Let that sink in for a minute, okay? We 2-hit KO max HP Licky with Thunderbolt. We 2-shot Nidoking with HP Ice. We 2-shot Mega Scizor with Thunderbolt. We 1-shot Tapu Fini. We can 1-shot Shaman. The only mon that we cannot 2-shot on this entire roster is Incineroar. That's it. And we have answers for that. Noivern drops to an HP Ice. Raichu drops to 2 Bug Buzzes. Primeape might drop to a single Thunderbolt. Mesprit drops to a Bug Buzz. There's not a thing on his team that switches into this thing safely. Even the crazy thing is, even Incineroar takes like 38 to 44 or 36 to 44 from a Thunderbolt. If it's Assault Vest, let's let that sink in for a second. So that's the craziness of this set. This set alone could potentially win me the game just because of how bulky it is. Because the bulk allows us to wall Mega Scizor, we also wall Shaman. A timid Life Orb Seed Flare from Shaman does max 33% to this spread. That means that in the event he gets the Spit F drop, he still can't 2-hit kill us. So we can roost it off, or potentially kill it, and then switch out. It'll be fine. Like, this thing is meant to break the team. This thing will not win me the game. The threats to this thing are Lycanroc and Incineroar. That's it. But we 1-shot Lycanroc with Thunderbolt outright. And he has to run max speed to outspeed my Kartana. Otherwise, Kartana will kill it. Like, he has to assess the threat that if it's a max speed Kartana, which I have done before, just to make sure that I could get the speed boost. In that event, he has to respect that threat and bring a max speed Lycanroc. I also think he's going to bring a max speed Raichu, because he's probably going to bring a Scarf, just 1 to outspeed Scarf Kartana, 2 to make sure he can outspeed Mega Aerodactyl. So this thing also beats a Scarf Raichu 1v1, because we can Bug Buzz it down and click Roost on the damage he does. If he clicks Knockoff, it's not going to be the end of the world. There are mons I would rather switch into a Knockoff. Probably Kartana, but I would have to scout for that, and I'd probably go to Vikavolt first. And losing the Magnet's not the end of the world. Yeah, it gives us the boost to 2-8 KO Licky Licky, but in that event we would spam Bug Buzz because we could eventually get a Spit F drop if he's trying to wish stall us. So yeah, that's a likable set. Problems for this thing is if he brings like I wouldn't say like if he just brings an all-out offensive team, this Pokemon could suffer. But that's why we have the next mon on our team, which is actually going to be Toxapex. And the reason, and this is the next thing I threw on the team. And the biggest reason I had it is because I needed to check to Incineroar. So the first thing I thought was, okay, we're gonna go ahead and make you Regenerator with Scald. I believe what was the rest of the set? I had Gunk Shot, Haze, and I had Recover. And you're thinking, wow, no hazards, no toxic spikes. Yeah, you'll see why. I mean, originally I was gonna have Black Sludge on here, but I decided to change it after a minute because I had to sit there and think. So with this particular spread, which I actually did calc, but even before the item I'm gonna put on it. I believe we're running a Relaxed Nature, yes, okay. So, with this investment, we take 2 Earthquakes from an Adamant Incineroar. Like, the roll is 41 to 49. We take 2 Earthquakes from an Adamant Incineroar. The only problem is that if I take Rocks, he could potentially 2-hit kill me. It's a roll in my favor, or it's not in my favor. Actually, it's not a roll in my favor. It's like it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. I don't want to make that a thing. So we're gonna be Shukaberry. Because if I can switch in on that thing, even if he goes for knockoff into Earthquake, he can't kill me, and Scald is gonna do enough to where, and even Gunk Shot's gonna do a solid chunk. But the reason we have Gunk Shot is actually because I want to make sure that we can 2-hit KO Shaman, and we actually 2-hit KO Tapu Fini with this set. Like, Gunk Shot hits so hard, we don't need to invest a whole lot. So this 2-hit KOs a max HP Tapu Fini, as well as potentially 2-hit KOs some max HP Shaman. That's how crazy strong that hit is. It doesn't need to be fully invested. It's just the fact that the base power of the move is so high. That was the main reason for Gunk Shot. Also because I wanted to make sure I could hit something like Licky Licky harder and potentially poison it. That would be clutch. Also lets me hit Noivern for something harder than Scald. Thankfully Noivern's best setup is Calm Mind, and we have an answer for that. So, next up on the list, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, right now, a big problem for my team is a Life Orb Nidoking. And in particular, a Modest Nidoking, because he can actually afford to run Modest. And I think he will run Modest, because he needs to outspeed my Piloswine, but that's the only speed tier that I have between Piloswine. Is actually goes straight from Piloswine up to Necrozma. So, he can afford to run Modest Nidoking, I think. If he doesn't, if he's running Timid Nidoking, it's because he's trying to, I think he's going to try to outspeed a Modest Necrozma. That's the most speed I think he'll invest. But we are bringing Necrozma anyway, because I'll explain to you why. Originally we had a Spadef Necrozma that could 1v1 Nidoking, but I didn't want this set to become too, not so much predictable, but I didn't want it to become super passive. So we actually did change this to a Life Orb 3 attack set, because I wanted to make sure that we were going to get as much bang for our buck out of this thing. And yes, you're finally seeing me run 252 EVs and something, but the crazy thing is we need it. I know he's going to be outspeeding us regardless of what he invests. Unless he only invests enough for, Piloswine. And I think we actually do outspeed him creeping my Piloswine. That's the crazy thing. This thing also can live any one hit from Nidoking and just one-shots it with, it just straight up one-shots it with Photon Geyser. It did that even if it didn't have any investment. Like, that's how crazy this thing is. But the reason we're bringing this particular Necrozma set is because of the fact that this coverage allows me to one-shot Mega Scizor, and we're a decent check to Mega Scizor. It allows us to two-shot Incineroar and we can take on Licky 1v1, and Primate's not an issue. Noivern drops to Photon Geyser, freaking Lycanroc drops to Photon Geyser. Mesmer actually is the only real switch in he's got to this. You're just bringing straight up threats here. Heat Wave can do a KO an offensive Shaman. Like, Photon Geyser does a huge chunk of Tapu Fini, and depending on his investment, could do a KO. Just because we're modest Life Orb, like, ugh, I think it's like a truck. And obviously that HP investment is for a Life Orb number, and the speed, like I said, is to creep in. I believe it's to creep. Let me check that speed actually. I want to make sure. Okay, I don't want to sit here talking out of my butt, but I do think that it's actually not. I don't know what I'm creeping, because a Jolly max speed Pilot's Wine only hits 112. I think I have this much speed because we hit 124. Why do we hit 124? There's something on his team, isn't there? We outspeed Incineroar outright. That's what it is. We outspeed Incineroar completely, just straight up. So I just want to make sure that was a thing. I didn't want to have to worry about Incineroar, because knockoff isn't going to kill us unless he's like adamant banned. Even then, that's a Prism Armor could potentially make that not a kill. Depending on his investment. Scizor can't kill us. It do KOs us with U-turn, but like we kill it with Heat Wave, and we actually us outspeeding Incineroar also allows us to outspeed Adamant Scizor, because there's no reason he brings Jolly Scizor. I find that to be pointless against this team. Now, when I was looking at this team, I was like, okay, I need a win condition, because right now I've got a couple breakers. I've got a good defensive Mon that can help back up my semi-defensive Bike Bolt over there. I need a potential win condition, as well as a surprise factor. And this is where we decided to. We were originally going to have Klinkling. I looked at Klinkling and I was like, this thing could do really, really well. And on paper, it looked really good. Bringing I considered a Scarf set. I considered another Shift Gear 3 attack set with actually Normalium to make sure I could one-shot the Incineroar. But Z Wild Charge for one thing did more. But the biggest issue we found was that on paper it looked good, but the damage output just wasn't there. There was nothing that Klinkling could set up on. That's the biggest thing. There was nothing there that Klinkling could set up on. So, but there's a couple things that Kartana can set up on, which I will explain here in just a second. I know that Kartana and Klinkling serve similar functions sometimes, but not in this particular case, because Klinkling was going to be more breaker in my original team draft, but with this particular set, we're bringing a Leaf Blade set, Sacred Sword, and SD, obviously. That's all I knew at this point, because that particular moveset just kind of goes ham versus this team. Like, that alone is enough. Like, with this investment, we outspeed, I believe, just Shaman. Yeah, we outspeed Shaman outright. So we can also outspeed Adamant Lycanroc. I don't know why I clicked over there. Yeah, we can outspeed Adamant Lycanroc. We can outspeed, we obviously outspeed Nidoking. We outspeed Fini. I wasn't running any risk for this thing. Now, the thing I wanted, we'll have to come back to later, but I also did know that I wanted to fight TNMZ, because I want to make sure that I could kill off Licky. Also, Curse Licky could potentially become a problem for my team, because I don't have a Ghost type, and my best resist is Aerodactyl. So he could bring a Gyro Ball Curse set with Return and either Wish or Rest, or something like that, and that would be scary as crap. So I need a way to combat that. So Sacred Sword is Sword Dance with Sacred Sword was my best way to deal with that. Plus he's Z Licky, so he could be like Corkscrew Crash, he could be Inferno Overdrive. Like, his Z-Mons are weird. Like, I understand Lycanroc and Noivern, but Licky's kind of a funny one. Anyway, we're gonna come back to the set because I didn't know what the last move was gonna be. But what I did know is that I need another defensive Mon. And I looked at my team, I was like, I need rocks, because a lot of this damage that I'm going to be doing with this can be turned into KOs with some rocks. And originally, like I said, I was going to bring a defensive crossman with rocks. But instead, we decided to go once again with our good buddy Pilot Swine over here. We're bringing a thick fat set this time because I want to make sure that we can beat Nidoking. And also semi-switch. I say semi. Really loosely, we can semi-switch into Incineroar. I'm not saying that's going to be our easiest switching, but like it can be done. So we are running Earthquake. I'm not running EQ. We're running Ice Shard, Rocks, EQ, and Roar. We're running this particular spread only because it is our best way to handle not only freaking physical Nidoking, because I believe we're running Impish, yes. We're running an Impish set. This allows us to take a hit from, this allows us to beat Raichu, 100%, because a Specs Grass Knot can't kill us from full. I believe that's actually true. Let me check and make sure. Okay, I need to clear these custom sets because I'm trying to check these calcs here. I'm gonna put those in there. Okay, that's good. Only show imported sets. We're gonna go with Piloswine versus Raichu. So yeah, a nasty Black Raichu. Focus Blast is the only thing that can 2-hit KO me. But if he brings Grass Knot instead, Grass Knot does 42 to 50 to my spread, and obviously we one shot with Earthquake. That's also if he's Life Orb. If he's not Life Orb, because I expect him to be Scarf. And Mini Raider here can shoot any hit he goes for if he's Scarf. Even I think even a Focus Blast, if I'm gonna be honest. So yeah, if he's Choice Scarf, the roll for Focus Blast is 49 to 57, which, you know, isn't exactly a comforting roll. But we can click Earthquake and kill him. If he's not Scarfed and he's Sash, we bring him down Sash and he's killing the Ice Shard afterwards. But yeah, that's the point behind this spread, is that we live most attacks from Raichu and we can kill it off or get rocks up on it. We beat Lycanroc 1v1 unless he's a Fightinium Z set. We can beat Nidoking with this, and we can also pretty well handle Noivern. That's our biggest thing, is we're using this to check Noivern and to roar out his setup. Things like potential, like Calm Mind Finny, Sword Stance Scizor, Sword Stance Shaman. Like, I'm not actually saying on most of these things, but like in particular Licky Licky would be a thing I could roar out, as well as Raichu could be a thing I could roar out. And Noivern as well, because those are things that aren't really going to want to stay in on me. But Piloswine is here to get, essentially his only job is to get rocks up and prevent a Noivern from becoming a problem. And also checking Raichu. Even if we can knock off Raichu, I can then turn around and just click EQ, and we should be fine. I think even knock off in a Grass Knot doesn't kill me. I'd have to check, because let's actually put him on. Yeah, Grass Knot from an, he has 49 to 57 if he's Choice Scarf. That's if he's Choice Scarf. So knock off into Grass Knot would actually not kill me if unless he was Life Orb. But yeah, I would scout the damage at that point too. Anyway, so our last Mon here. Before we go on, I actually did come up with the move here for Kartana. We're actually going to go for Substitute, because what I can do is on a Mon I force out. Say it's something like freaking like I wouldn't say Shaman, but like Tapu Fini in particular. If we can force that thing out, or better yet, if we can force it to go for something like, if he's stuck in going like, I don't know, he wouldn't stay in on us, I don't think. If he's forced to go out, then we can very easily take it on. Like, we can set up a sub on it as he goes out into Incineroar, for example. If he goes out into Incineroar. Because then I can Sword Dance and find out whether he's Scarfed. If he's Scarfed, we go out into Toxapex. There's no reason not to go out into Toxapex, because he'll lock himself into a fire move. Because there's no other move he'll lock himself into. He locks himself into Earthquake. We could actually potentially live 2 of those. Or live 1 after this. It won't kill us with the sub up. because it'll break the sub as SD if he's scarfed, and then we'll live the next one and then just kill him. Because I would have SD'd behind the sub. EQ won't kill us when we kill him with Titanium Z, or with, I think we actually kill him with +1 Sacred Sword. Anywho, and then we get attack boost and we just keep going from there. So the last mon is the last ditch ever for me to prevent getting swept by other potential scarfers, or also to prove to be a nice lure in this game. That is going to be Hydreigon. Now what I want to do is use this thing as a lure for Tapu Fini to help me start this roll of just straight up killing stuff off with good old Kirito over there, the Kartana. We got Jelbeg here. Gonna be rocking, you know, standard 4 moves, I guess. I am gonna bring Draco, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and U-Turn. Most of the time I'll be spamming Dark Pulse versus this team, because the reason I have Draco is to nuke some more bulky things like Incineroar, or maybe, well, actually I have Earth Power for those, but like, in particular it's meant to hit Shaman harder. It's meant to straight up blow away Noivern. Even if he's Hobbin Berry, he doesn't live. And we've also got a nice leg up on something like Licky Licky, because if we can catch him after rocks, I think 2 Dracos does kill a max HP Licky Licky. Don't quote me on that. But let's actually check it. Let's check a max HP Licky Licky. Let's do that. So yeah. So 2 Dracos actually does have a chance to kill after rocks. Yeah, 62.5% chance to kill after rocks. So essentially, if we can get him Draco down, then we can go into something like I don't know, if we can get Draco down and he doesn't have Protect or something like that, we can actually Draco him a 3rd time and kill him. I don't know, it's a situational thing, but like, I mean, the obvious spread we're bringing here is, and this is such an obvious spread, like, it's another time we're bringing Max Nexus because we need the output that this thing can give us. It is going to be a timid Hydreigon because we need outspeed, max speed Primate. I'm not going to let that thing be a problem. Draco is going to one-shot that thing anyway. Or make sure that, I actually think I brought Dragon Pulse instead. Well, I had it on the original team, but I changed it because I like the damage output better from Draco. I'm more than often locking myself into Dark Pulse anyway, especially once Tapu Fini goes down, and it will go down once I can lure it with my Kartana. Scizor won't be a problem because I can beat it. I can actually beat it 1v1 with Vikavolt, as well as Necrozma. We can have a good time with that one. Pilus one is the only thing that can see potentially being like semi quote unquote dead weight, but I need it for rocks and to make sure I don't lose to a potentially Scarf Noivern. Anyway, so we have a couple win conditions here, Kartana and Hydreigon. The way I see this is that depending on how the match goes, I may have to use Kartana to break the team down some more. While Vikavolt and Necrozma's main job is to do that, I might need Kartana to assist in this, because if I can get a sub up as he's got like Lycan Rock left, and what I can do is I can just straight up kill it. I will not worry about Sword Stancing, just kill it off. And then if he goes to something like Nidoking, we can scout for Scarf Flamethrower. We can pivot into something like Necrozma, or even Pilus Wine to check that. The Scarf Nidoking is walled by my Pilus Wine, so that's nice. And yeah, that's the team. So thank you guys so much for watching. We should be having this battle pretty soon. And that's all it's been for me. It's been Fanbase. We'll catch you in the battle. Bye, guys.